Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. I am filming this video after coming from a search for a title in my shelves and could not find the book I wanted. In the course of doing that, I came across so many other titles that I have at one time had the ambition to read or the desire to read. And I am sadly in no position to read right now. I don't have the concentration for it. I am instead tending to keep abreast of the news in my country, the United States of America, as the would-be fascist regime of Donald Trump and his cronies, I guess, carry on about their daily misdeeds. And further, I don't know that I will ever read again. It's just sad to me. I mean, I hope that we move into a better time, a more settled time. But upheaval has been a part of the natural course for humans. And so it put me into mind of reading some poems from this book, Bestial, Ballads. If I could, I would get rid of that X, but I can't. This is up at my Lulu page, lulu.com, a self-pub house. And I don't really have poems picked out specifically, but this book deals with oftentimes individuals who dissented against political regimes or just tried to live their own lives according to their own lights. So for instance, there is a poem at the top about Franz Kafka, the death of Kafka, who died, I think, just before age 40, and that was written just before I turned 40. My latest book is Against Fascism, Poems of Resistance and of Dissent. But it's a theme that was on my mind, obviously, in previous days. So I will read one about the murder of Federico Garcia Lorca, the poet, titled El Crimen. Killed by the bearer of a grudge, Garcia Lorca died. Machado sang of it as judge denounced the city's pride. El crimen fue en Granada, rang his words against the place. Utterly sweet in verse he sang the infinite disgrace. El llanto is eterno, for as Federico had sung of the death of one before, the bullfighter gored bad, even as Federico wept the sorrows of the ages, so many flowers vistas winds swept that fill his tender pages. So Federico wept, and so Machado wept for him, upon whose own path he must go, traverse fate's mountains grim, and die an early death. It was an evil time for Spain, when poets may get slaughtered thus, so many more get slain. such times of upheaval, not uncommon. So, there was one I wanted to read, I thought, though. Well, oh, it's this one. This one is titled Para encontrarse con él. They taunted him to play his songs, despite his fingers broken. Him held there with the captive throngs, as though there were a joke in predicament in which they found themselves after the coup that put Allende in the ground. But what were they to do? He sang the song of unity before machine guns rattle, cut his sweet voice for all to see. Sad casualty of battle. There in the self-same stadium where he had sang support, his fingers were cut off, so some eyewitnesses report. They taunted him to play and sing, then murdered Victor Jara. Voice beautiful, yet with a sting for those who covet power. Amidst the heavens, his voice glides through hill and dale to tell how to the job Amanda strides to meet with her Manuel. I think I've read these poems together previously on this channel, but I'm just doing it again because I'm in the mood for it. Into the earth. Into the earth, good men and true. Into the earth they go, ha. Into the earth, the bad ones too. Into the earth they go, ha. Thus life has been a grim charade. Men pass through life from shade to shade. Death's final shadow none evade. Into the earth they go, ha. Some men must leave much earthly bliss. Into the earth they go, ha. Some men must leave life's pleasant kiss. Into the earth they go, ha. Some men must leave the toil and strain, a life of trouble, life of pain, an aggish body, feverish brain. Into the earth they go, ha. Life passes fast, a pretty dream. Into the earth they go, ha. Moments of torture make you scream. Into the earth they go, ha. Each man must live his life alone, his sorrows by none else be known. When spirit leaves this flesh and bone, into the earth they go, ha. There was one for Terrence the comic. I've read this one before, but since it's appropriate to our times, I'll give it again. Liberty falls with a thud. It has been said, dictatorships first burn the books, then people. From bad to worse, the censor's grips first burn the books, then people. When first the rulers try to stifle expression, it may seem a trifle. Then through the meekest thought they rifle. First burn the books, then people. First freedom feared to congregate. First burn the books, then people. Then freedom to communicate. first burn the books, then people. When mobsters want to have their sway in government, so they must play with information's access, they first burn the books, then people. The consequence be feared when men first burn the books, then people. 'Tis unopposed discussion, then first burn the books, then people. To nip oppression in the bud, when words are banned, prepare for blood, or else, as liberty fall thud, first burn the books, then people. I think this is from 2003. Yeah, it's quite a busy year, and I did a number of these 50 poem compilations, I guess. Oh, I don't want to read that. Sorry, I should have really planned this out. Well, I'll do the one about L. Frank Baum and his career as an editor. This in a poem that derives from an essay by Michael Ventura titled the poem that is titled Without Estate. And so it was in South Dakota, the last of that frontier, the massacre of the Lakota through ignorance and fear occurred, so too to fill a quota that had been preached, that here too many of the tribal band existed that once roamed the land. Extinguished are the red man's ways, best to annihilate the paltry pack that straggling stays, where go without estate. Because the future have no space for them that we create. So went the common argument that set the stage for how things went. The editor vociferous applauded the act done. 'Tis good if we continue thus and stamp out every one. We'll blunder through with blunderbuss until we own the sun. Said ownership attained by clause, they named the place the Land of Oz. The wind done gone. The times they are a-changin', say, the wind done gone, done gone. Throughout the wide world rangin', hey, the wind done gone, done gone. Enjoy your plenty while you can. Uncertainties the fate for man. Before you know it, in a span, the wind done gone, done gone. Take time to help a neighbor out. The wind done gone, done gone. Before you know, may come a drought. The wind done gone, done gone. Always take time for cheer, and do treat kindly those with less than you. When time come for a switcheroo, the wind done gone, done gone. Be thankful to the heavens, or the wind done gone, done gone. Blessings be sure to count before the wind done gone, done gone. The lot of man's a shaky thing. You mayn't know what tomorrow bring. Or if you must in sorrow sing, the wind done gone, done gone. Take time to help a neighbor out in today's context. That would be explicitly to help the people who are being abducted by ICE. People most entirely law-abiding, many with years, decades even of residence, many going through all of the legal procedures to become citizens or permanent residents or residents and so for legal resident and so forth. The present regime is explicitly targeting good and decent people because they are easier to catch than bad guys. And amongst the immigrant population, there are not so many bad guys anyhow. Mind the setting sun. Don't fill your time with fuss and frettin', regret and worry. What's it gettin'? Before you know it, the sun a-settin' descends into the west. The day will end, so while it's ripe, don't moan and groan, nor mope and gripe, like some old dried out archetype. The world revolves in jest. It wasn't you, the fool began it, this crazy world and lonely planet. Don't bang your head upon the granite, expecting it to give. Just keep your shoulder at the wheel, so you were given a raw deal. It doesn't matter how you feel, just hunker down and live. There's many that have gone before you. Nobody's going to do it for you. So don't go whinging, oh, poor, poor you, but mind the fleeting sun. For while you've got to work your task, it's sweet to eat fruit from life's full baskets. While time is ripe, all to their caskets repair when life is done. Kind of a bizarre poem, I guess. This book paid homage to bards of my métier. Ah, ye that love the English strain, neglect not humble versemen. Rhymers deserve not your disdain, as though they had been worse men. The thinker nor the tinker jilt, we all must do some snatching. Language is an enormous quilt, and there's a lot for patching. That line you think you've heard before, its meter gently rippling. It's nothing new, you know the score. I got that line from Kipling. Again, you may think that you've heard a cadence, if but one bar. You caught the theft that has occurred, for that one came from Dunbar. Small theft of something valid, dear, ought not to make one nervous. Each one of us, balladeer, must be that ode to service. So life requires much give and take. We play our part by turns. And if some tune make your heart break, it probably came from Burns. Paying homage to bards of my métier. There's the title. And last from this, I think, in keeping with the spirit of the soul's sun throughout as something of a theme. This one is titled The Uncowed. He couldn't hold a job too long, but moved from place to place. Yet every place held something wrong, sadly to his disgrace. And so he moved along despite a pocketbook grown thin. Try as he might, it wasn't right. Some men do not fit in. He wouldn't keep a steady girl, but switched from chick to chick. For while he loved to catch the whirl of passion, it passed quick. And so he liked to flee before the fury of the storm. Not counting score, he wanted more. Some men do not conform. He shouldn't tell his mind so plain, but sped from truth to truth. Though wrath of anger and disdain against him struck uncouth. And so he was cut down, although his words were sharp and proud. The knife sliced, so he didn't know. Some men will not be cowed. I have no idea who I was talking about there. Oh, I'll read one more. I'm guessing it's kind of along the lines of that Bards of My Métier. This one is titled To Poets of the Future. Best not to spew invective, hate, ye poets of the future. It leave cause to retaliate, nor it provide a structure on which to build tomorrow's world that will be safe from harm. Even as present day imperiled, men flutter in alarm. To lash in hate, though it be words that from the pen spew forth, while therapeutic yet affords small bridge of any worth between thine own self and another, though he may seek thy death. Stand firm and fight, don't cry, why bother, thy saber firm unsheath. 'Tis those that follow after you and read your gentle word, your passing may severely rue and grieve that it occurred. Born of this love and never hate, they may take up the fight. Declare the sin, not mindless prate, though you meet with good night. So I thought to shake it up a bit, I would read something from 2011, I think. No, 2014. I assume that was the year I went to Korea. There you see me outside of a museum in Seoul. It must be in Seoul. This is titled, well, you know, how are we doing time-wise? Well, I shouldn't keep you here too long. Now, I can't think of the name of the channel, but Ali, I believe, is the presenter, and he has a practice of writing, I think it's haiku each week, and then at the end of the month he gives a summing up. I'll put a link to his channel. This book contains a compilation of, 4 haikus used sort of as a stanza form. This is called Haiku Poseur. His petty rancor stirs not my tranquil bark, a ship tied at anchor. As lazy verses scale his vanity's arc, a vain fool rehearses. He apes a Shakespeare, whom innuendos proffer, modesty makes peer. With scorn belittles sundry the tireless scoffer, but pride embrittles. Not the best, but an attempt, I guess. I think the poem, maybe it's not in this book. I think it is, though. Well, perhaps there's a... Oh my, there's more here than I thought. $46, maybe? No, that was not it. Oh well, I can't find the one I'm looking for. Oh, this is it. A prayer for walking back. For some reason, I feel like reading this. So this was, what did I say, 2014? So we've gotten more than a decade after this critical juncture. A prayer for walking back. My feeble gifts of prosody have failed me in the documenting this. How one does languish next to me, near to the door which gateway to death is, lying beside me while I stroke her arm, praying the gods deliver her from harm. Lord, I am weary, but how much more so must she be wearied who lies near in throes of illness. Let my touch ameliorate suffering, which is severe, with knowledge sure that I beside my friend, lover and friend, remain until the end. Happy she is to pass the time with me, while in these rancid days of illness my stroking, if no thing sublime, may lend unto her troubled anguish stillness, if just in spirit. Lord, I pray she eat, wake, laugh, and that her heart may strongly beat. Yet thou perhaps hast need anon of such a lovely angel. I too have need not fulfilled by anyone haphazardly, for she, much more than stave, merges with me into a single person, although in only one the symptoms worsen. Lord, perched between two worlds, I pray that she may walk back to the living sphere, if for another hour or day, and even I may ask thee for a year, though not my present helplessness abates, as my poor pen discourses with the fates. That title, A Prayer for Walking Back, is a nod to walking back the flower. I'll put a link to it in the description box, by Sarah Morgan Piatt, I think is the poet's name. The beverage is gone, and but ice cubes remain. Well, I'll go to the one on the facing page. This is titled Words After Longfellow. Half of my life was spent, nay, more than half, musing upon a future's filled carafe, wine to be drunk as plenteous in my store, without the need to worry any more. Alas, these vain imaginings were vain. Vain I shall call them, only vain again. So much of squandered time to spend in doting on stratagems and schemes which wound up nothing. A life of paucity and dearth it was, ambitions unfulfilled, and hopes in pause. Yet, having seen the best of dreams expire, I knew the height of vanity, desire. Well, I'll just linger in this book for a little bit. This one is titled The Ground. As criminals are often seen, upon the scene their crime occurred in, or lovely songs, each verse between, revolve upon the selfsame burden. So do my thoughts return to you, substratum to love's nomenclature, because the sum of all I knew depends upon your beauty's stature. This other poets lack, who have no likeness unto yours to ponder. So if my words survive the grave, I think it should not be a wonder. Love's lineament of careful thought was captured not by any teacher, but it was to my lyric brought, because I memorized each feature. Still center of my turning, you remain unchanged through worlds revolving, in absence keeping my heart true, conundrum past scholastic solving. How about grief's paradox? Grief's paradox. I knew the end was not so far, but when it came, it felt too near, and vestiges of grieving are yet undiminished with me here. Thus you may join the pantheon of friends and lovers I have lost. Bygones the heart won't let be gone. When death comes always living's cost. Intensity remaining strong, love finds no object in this vacuum. So I am thwarted where I long, though plenteous grievances don't lack room. Capacious is the heart of man, yet why should grief become a grievance? Death balanced life since time began, and in the scale, proportion evens. The end was just around the corner, so all the season's signs foretold, which I fulfill becoming mourner, though grief stays strong while it grows old. Grief's paradox. And when I was in Paul Carroll's class, I had a friend named Marcia. A bunch of us formed a poetry group, and one of the poems she brought was, I think, titled, Can Grievances Become Griefs? And so those words have always existed together in various poems that I have written. Oh, why not talk about, I happened to be in Brooklyn for Hurricane Sandy. Sandy. As we await the coastal surge, none may guess what the future holds, or what disasters may emerge as this day's trauma yet unfolds. Here in a Brooklyn flat we wait with news upon the radio, telling of floods as tides rise great and rain pours down in ceaseless flow. Though we may pray, the gods dispose according to prerequisites none may surmise, revealing doles or joy as some chance fortune hits. The hurricane approaches shore with much uncertainty to breach, as we submit beneath its roar and hope our cries the gods' ears reach. We were well situated geographically. After a fit of blindness, I think I read this on this channel one time, and afterward I said, what the heck was I talking about? Actually, I know very well what I was talking about. After a fit of blindness, it is through partial vision I proceed, not toward the shining image of your face in all its loveliness, as must recede perpetually before me on the chase. Rather, it is sweet death I amble toward, lonely alone, but you've another path, while I have only death and God, my Lord, to give me consolation from world's wrath. Did you walk here beside, it were a joy, and I might clap my hands and sing it loud, yet like a child who vainly seeks lost toy, I search the night and only find a shroud. He hears of a loved one's demise. Across this gulf of your demise, I do accuse you fiercely, whom I loved well, if never wise, to chastise what endears me. You did a wrong, so I accuse, in that you failed to love me. For proffered feelings proved a ruse, sufficient yet to move me. I tell this now unto the void, in hopes your formless ghost may pestered be and grow annoyed as my complaints accost. I charge you with not loving me, when this you ought have done. For what I gave so tenderly, how could you rudely spurn? So wrong to give me not a kiss in parting or a smile. With some sweet words you were remiss, yet still my heart beguile. Now that one I have no idea who I'm talking about. And I really don't want to hold you here too long. Well, this is right on that theme though. Let's see. Insanity. Oh, and I remember when this happened too. Oh, I saw the ghost of you, my love, within another body, as our convergent paths did move. I gave it careful study, but soon enough our ways must part, despite my silent pleading. Yet came the tearing of my heart, and every hope receding. 'Tis such that breeds insanity. I watched you slip from sight. I whispered, will you marry me? But you did not requite. Against my will I saw you go. Before it was on purpose, when you I shunned, whom I loved so, whence verse proceeds its corpus. It is but through the pen I clutch, whereby to keep alive that heaven, lest regret too much, send me in hellward dive. Now the one I wanted to read, I intended only to read this. I think I showed this and said, there I am with some ginseng. There were these big vats of it, except I used the wrong word somehow or something. I thought that I would read the poem that I wrote after a quote by Pope Francis, who recently died. So this is titled Words After a Quote by Pope Francis. Into our separate futures we must travel without fail. So saith the Lord. But if indeed 'tis destiny that we divergent fortunes ford, never again to meet, then let us relish present moments sweet. All time is unredeemed, and further, forever unredeemable, alas. So let us not the moment murther, pursuing idols false and crass of profit motive, rather the opportunities for loving gather. True, in the life of day to day, vicissitudes and trouble bother us, threatening to keep us from the way pleasurable and decorous, as with his will accord, that is a high, supreme, most loving Lord. 'Tis not in money gained that one may actualize a life, but rather through service, so heaven's will be done, and our least karmic act imbue with heavenly spirit, love sanctioned, condoned forever from above. Unto the poor we give our alms, and give the sweat of personal labor to effect what may be begged through palms close pressed in prayer. By keeping true in action to our words, only we forge a path that is the Lord's. I sort of wish I had written down the quote by the Pope that inspired that. Might have been a little more to the point. Well, and I will close from my new book, Against Fascism, available from lulu.com in a link below. And I thought that I would read a poem about the death of Pope Francis. He gave a farewell speech, so to speak, and I wrote a poem about that. This is titled The Farewell Speech and Blessing of Pope Francis. This is the day Pope Francis died, the second day of Eastertide. Christ risen, he declared and saw mighty fulfillment of the law. We were not made for death, but life, he preached, and saw a world of strife. What a great thirst for death and killing we witness, conflicts overspilling throughout the globe in multifold. Violence we observe untold, even in families raised against women and children, and commenced plethoric raptures of contempt, targeting them the least exempt, the vulnerable, the marginalized, and migrants, all of these despised, even as Jesus Christ arisen, who serves the poor and meek in prison. The Pope, through worldwide prayer, then sent a call for true disarmament and preconditions set for peace. Religious freedom first of these, freedom of thought and of expression second and third. With these, profession of the respect for others' views, the Paschal mystery to enthuse. Thus told he the stupendous struggle of life twixt death, as so we snuggle, secure in Christ's example thus, of resurrection given us. Then later on, Pope Francis died, this second day of Eastertide. Didn't really know I was going to quite go there, but as many of you, not quite sure how to respond on a day-to-day basis to the situation in this country. I thought I would read some poetry, but I've been inundating you with things from this book. I thought I would shake it up a little bit. It is well to try to make connections with other people. I have joined a local indivisible group. Indivisible groups are being formed all over the country. I'll put a link to a video about a 1 million training or something like that. The goal is to train people how to act with non-compliance toward this regime. The more of us that do so, the more likely that this current hard times, I guess you could say, this hard times, this current time in which we are called upon to bear so much unregenerate ugliness all around us. I thought so long that I forgot my sentence. In these times, it's appropriate to do what we can to hasten the demise of this regime. All that we have is life. And fascism is the enemy of life. You have to understand that. Thank you for stopping by my channel.